All right, welcome back to the Travi Wavi. I'm your affable host, Travis Eason, and we are coming to you live once again from the 325 beautiful downtown Abilene, Texas, the heart of the storybook capital of America. And we do this podcast every Thursday morning between 10 and we're starting about 10:30 now, and we'd love to have you come down and sit in our audience and watch live. There's wonderful coffee next door at Majestic Coffee Shop, serving Onyx coffee, my personal favorite. And we have another wonderful guest to bring to you today, wonderful audience. Please like and subscribe, share this channel with your friends. Today, I bring you the wonderful, lovely Sidney Levesque.
Hi.
Welcome, Sidney.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on the show. I'm excited that you're here. So, Sidney, you are the marketing director for the Abilene Cultural Affairs Council.
Yes, I have been since 2013.
2013. And how is that going for you? What's that journey been like for you?
It's been really cool to see all the projects that have developed downtown over the years, and the arts programming, and I think right now we're in a really great stage for Abilene and the arts here.
Good. Well, we're going to revisit the subject and talk more about it, but the question I like to ask all my guests is, do you have any siblings?
Yes, I have one older half-brother. He's
Okay.
12 years older than me.
Okay.
It's almost like two different generations.
Interesting. Do you guys stay in touch? Are you close at all?
Yes, in fact, we traveled to Germany
Oh, cool.
last year together,
Right on.
and so that was a really interesting experience.
Did you take the whole families or just the two of you?
Just the two of us.
cool.
We went to visit the little village in Germany where the Schumanns are from.
Okay.
My maiden name.
Yeah. Very cool. And so that was last year. Any highlights from that adventure with brother?
Well, driving on the Autobahn,
Oh, cool.
and we met some friends there and got close to some people, and so it was a really enriching experience.
That's great. Would you do it again? Do you guys are you planning another one?
Oh, yes. In
Okay.
fact, this year, we're going to go for Thanksgiving week,
Oh, cool.
and we're flying back into Prague, and then going to East Germany to that same little village. And our cousins are meeting us there, and we're going to experience all of the German Christmas traditions.
Oh, cool. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
So that's coming up.
Yes, it is. I'm already getting nervous because international flight is quite...
Flying is tricky anyway right now.
Yeah, it is. So, but it's going to be really cool. I'm really excited about it.
I love that. Did you guys always have that sibling tradition of travel together? Is this something that you've started
No.
now? Yeah.
No. It was our first time to really travel together.
That's cool.
I guess maybe when we were kids. I don't even remember, but
Yeah.
it was interesting. So learning to get along.
Yeah. But it sounds like it went well enough to make it a tradition, and you're going back. So
Yeah.
It
Well,
was
this time
successful.
it's George, my husband, and our teenager.
Okay.
So I wanted them to experience Prague
Mm-hmm.
and, really get different perspectives, international perspectives.
Yeah.
And when we were there, we met people from so many different cultures,
Mm-hmm.
and my brother knows Russian. So we were able to communicate with Ukrainians and Russians and different, all kinds of people. And I knew enough German to get along. And so I just love learning different perspectives.
Yeah.
And not just what we think in Texas or
Yeah.
what we think in America.
A little open-mindedness, and I love that. That's very cool. So let's come back to Abilene for a minute. And you didn't grow up here. Where did you grow up?
I was born in Dallas, and I lived in the real Wiley,
Okay.
Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to high school in Arizona,
Okay.
in Sedona. It's a beautiful resort town if you've ever been there.
Never been there.
And then I came to college at ACU, and that's how I ended up in Abilene.
Okay.
And my husband was a McMurray graduate.
Okay.
So
And you guys met while you were both in college? Or was this
No,
after post-college?
post-college, I was working at the Abilene Reporter News
Okay.
as a journalist.
Mhm.
And he was a sports reporter at K-Texas. And my friend that was interning there told him that I wanted to meet him, telling me that he wanted to meet me, and so she was a matchmaker.
100%.
So we were both in journalism at the time,
Okay.
which is interesting because now we're both in the arts because he works at Paramount, and I'm just down the street at the Abilene Cultural Affairs Council.
It's pretty fun. And you guys have a daughter.
Yeah, 15 at Wiley.
At Wiley, sophomore.
Yeah, playing in the band.
Very cool.
And so,
That's
yeah,
good.
she's enjoying that.
Chris Brannon's still the director out there for the band?
He's one of the directors. The main director is Mr. McDonald.
Okay, cool.
So
very cool.
My husband and I never did band in school, so being a band parent and learning all the instruments and shows and everything is completely new to us. But of course, high school band and Friday night football, that's such a huge part of our culture here in Texas.
Absolutely. So that's fun for you to see a different part of our traditions and culture in this part of the world.
Yep.
Yeah. So you came here for college and you stayed and you worked in journalism and you met the love of your life and you guys have a family and are both very, I would say, big characters in our community. You both have a lot of, what am I trying to say with this?
Well, I feel like we've met a lot of people through our jobs, and we know a lot of people in town. Because when I was at the newspaper, you're out reporting on schools, the school coverage, and city council in the county, and all kinds of stuff. And so you just meet a lot of people over the years. And George has been invited to be a part of a lot of events and projects. So we really love the community.
Well, and there was an Abilene Scene article about y'all a couple years ago. Maybe it wasn't that long ago. Do you remember that? Just about the Levesques, you and George.
I know, maybe.
Yeah, maybe I should have brought a copy of it. Anyway, it's a cute one. So George gets a lot of attention in town because he's 6 foot something,
and he's done a lot of theater.
And he's we know him from being on television and all this, and he also started a podcast at ACU.
Yes, West Texas Dispatch. A lot of good hard-hitting news stories.
Yeah, good. I'm a little softer than that. We just try to get into conversation around here. But I wanted to highlight you because you've served on a lot of different boards and nonprofit capacities. You're marketing director, so you're hands-on with how you want to shape and mold what the audience knows and sees about these projects and getting the word out. And I just want to I want to ask you, what are the challenges right now that you find without having like a physical newspaper or without having some of the broadcast television that we've had in the past? It's just not as much now.
Yeah.
How do you get the word out? How do you let people know about what the Cultural Affairs Council is doing, or CAF?
Yes. Like our marketing. Yeah. It is a challenging and changing landscape. 20 years ago, newspaper ads and stories, but nowadays, that's not as big of a market. And so, and same thing with magazines. But we do work with Abilene Scene magazine, and it comes out every other month. And so we have an Artfully Abilene section with, we work with our art organizations to rotate stories about what they're doing, the Grace Museum and Paramount. I still do news releases. I mean, not everybody does that. I'm kind of old school that way. And we still use, Facebook, but of course there's so many different social media out there. We still use Instagram, Facebook. We have a YouTube channel. We have a monthly e-newsletter, and you're constantly trying to keep up with people's emails change, or it goes to their spam. For the CAF Festival, we do billboards, and then I'm always weighing, digital billboards versus traditional, and then how far out do you go? Because part of the Cultural Affairs Council mission is to use the arts to put, quote, heads in beds.
Right.
To generate that hotel motel tax.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bring people into town, spend money.
So you're kind of like trying to figure out, well, how far outside of Abilene, what are some target cities, and do you do billboards, or what kind of advertising? And then, of course, you have all your targeted online advertising, Google ads, and Facebook boosts and ads. So I don't know, there's lots of different ways to market nowadays.
What do you think has been? Do you have a metric for figuring out? Okay, I'm going to spend X on this many billboards, and I should expect this many eyes to see it, and this we should be able to get this many audience participants from that expenditure. I mean, do you have a way of kind of like weighing or judging what's working as far as getting the messages out?
Well, I know there's a lot of ways to track that, like how many people visited your websites and your pages, and that's always interesting for the CAF Festival to see like how far widespread some of these clicks are all over America. And so that's kind of exciting to think, okay, the word is getting out. We have a lot of people. We have a question on the CAF registration. How did you hear about us? And so that's always interesting to see, because we send flyers out to every school in the big country, thousands and thousands of flyers. So it's always interesting to see where those website hits are coming from, and then where the actual registrations are coming from. Because we've had some years at CAF Festival up to 22, 28 states represented.
Wow.
Because some of these are people that might, either they've heard about it from somebody, word of mouth is huge. So despite all of the billboards and the magazines, word of mouth continues for our festival to be a huge driving factor. Last year's festival, we actually had a couple of Mexico registrations, and so we were excited. That's thinking, cool. Okay, international. Yeah. We want all those people to visit Abilene and see all the great things that are going on, not just CAF, but all of our
flyers off when you go to Germany. Pamphlets everywhere.
Yeah, I thought about it. Of course, they have in the more western part. That's kind of where like the Grimm's fairy tales and
deep cultural storybook.
Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah. So you're kind of coming up against, would you say, the OG, the original, the original storybooks.
Yeah. That's interesting. So, it's interesting to talk about word of mouth, because I agree. And just from my own business experience, that's been like the way to attract new customers. And, usually, I always ask new clients, how'd you hear about me? And it's usually through another person. It's rarely through, your website, or, it's some other social media thing. So it's a question I asked Lynn when she was on too. It's how do we get the word out? Because, Sam and I put on a couple of free shows over the course of this last year out at the Cotton Warehouse, and did everything we could think of to market it and let people know it's free.
Yeah.
Come, you don't have to do anything, just show up. And it's like, I don't know, pulling your nails out, trying to get people to pay attention to what you're doing and to commit to showing up for things. So the fact that you guys have had so much success with CAF for 15 years now?
Yeah, let's see. We just had our 13th, so this will be our 14th.
14th year.
Yeah.
And it continues to grow, and you continue to get people from out of state and other cities. I think it's great, and I hope that it continues to really just take off and grow and almost become overwhelming. I would like that. I'd like to see that happen.
Yeah, it is. It does get very busy downtown, and unlike some festivals that maybe take place mostly outside, we do have some outside things, but it takes place mostly inside. Like all of our dramatic readings and our like puppet shows, the corn pop balloon shows, and so those are venues with walls with capacities. So we have to keep spreading out and finding venues to help spread those crowds out. We have like 17 venues downtown that we use. And so occasionally we'll hear complaints. Well, they'll look at the schedule and how busy it is and how things start at multiple things start at the same time and say, how am I supposed to get to all this? I'm sorry. You can't because I don't have the capacity to put 5,400 people in one venue.
Yeah.
I mean, and
anywhere really.
Yeah, and you wouldn't want to be. You don't want to sit and hear a sweet book reading and have it be 1,000 people. That's takes away from the experience. So what we do is we just add venues and we spread them out. And we've added workshops as well during all these times. And those have been really popular, painting, drawing, sculpting, just really trying to make it a really enriching experience and worth us saying, hey, drive from Dallas or Austin. We want it to be really unique. And it really is, because we've looked at other book festivals and other children's book festivals. It's pretty rare to be a children's book festival. That's a real niche. A book festival isn't rare. A children's book festival is more rare. And then within the children's book festival world, we're a unicorn because we do it completely different than any other children's book festival in the world. A lot of them focus on having an author come and talk or do the reading.
Sure.
Our readings are more like bringing the book to life. We are commissioning costumes to be made. We are decorating. We are making it a theatrical experience. We have a art activity tied to it. So it's very expensive and time consuming. And that's why others aren't doing it like that. Also, the other ones don't have original art exhibition with it, which is where the nickel comes in. So you will not find something like CAF anywhere
else.
Even though they have a huge children's book festival in England, but when I look at their schedules and things, I'm like,
we're doing it better.
Yeah, because we're totally child focused, and that is reflected in the surveys that we are getting back from parents. Is what a child focused experience it was. Because if it's just to have an author come and stand up and talk, that is not what a 5-year-old wants.
Yeah.
Maybe a parent is impressed to have a famous author standing there, but the kid wants to be entertained.
Yeah. Well, and I think the Nickel's always done a good job, too, with showcasing that original children's illustrated art. And, when most of the time the author or the illustrator will come into town for a brief period of time, and they're always honored and, have that opportunity to share and things. But, my kid, unfortunately, I was out of town for the first 10 years of the CAF Festival. Every time that the CAF Festival was here in Abilene, I was out of town. So my children really didn't get to experience that. But as my grandchildren grow up here, I'm inclined and encouraged to make it more a part of their experience, because it is really unique that we have that here. And all the work that you've done and Lynn's done and many others to make sure that Abilene is patented as a storybook capital of America. I mean, it's a big thing. Don Albus wants me to remind everybody that we're still the storybook capital of Texas.
Yes, we were the storybook capital of Texas first in 2015, and the Texas legislature passed it, and the governor signed it. And then in 2018, there isn't really a national equivalent of, it's not like Congress does that. So we went and trademarked it.
Yep.
And we've been working on trademarking the Children's Art and Literacy Festival as well. We got a little pushback on that because they said it was more like a description than a name. So we're still working on that.
Yeah.
But
CAF Festival seems like a name to me.
Yeah, for us it's normal. CAF Festival. It's the CAF.
Yeah.
But I was going to say the illustrator coming and being a part of it, that is a very important part of it. And having them come and do the sketch with the artists and talk about their career at the Paramount and sketch along with the kids. People love that. And it's really cool to see the kids inspired by the artists and want to emulate them and do their own artwork. And we had a lot of feedback from the CAFs, people saying that their kids went home and acted out the books.
That's cool.
So I love that they're doing the different art forms and being inspired and being creative, which is what it's all about.
Yep. And learning some of those, Lynn brought this up too, just some basic, morals or principles, just ways of living well, I think are encouraged by the CAF Festival. Honesty and, humility, timeliness. There's a bunch of different things that I
Yeah.
think are kind of honored and not demanded of the audience, but just placed out there to say, hey, these are values that we value.
I think
here.
you'll see that in the quotes
Yeah.
that we've chosen and put on the benches that people have generously sponsored. Because we have about 80, well, more now. We had 80 storybook benches around downtown, and that was before the phase 1 of the Clear Fork Bank Storybook Garden opened this year at the convention center. So there's even more benches. But yes, there are quotes from storybooks that are meant to
Enrich.
to focus on values that we would want to have or our children to have. And we'll open phase 2 of the garden at next year's festival, which is celebrating the art of Winnie the Pooh.
Fun.
Now, there is not an illustrator alive for that. E.H. Shepard was the illustrator, but the Nickel is still going to have an exhibit, and they're looking into getting some of his original artwork and then filling it out with other things, Winnie memorabilia. And I mean, because Winnie's been out since the 1920s.
Wow.
And the first 2 books are in the public domain.
Okay. That does help.
Yes.
It does help.
And we're going to have all of Winnie and all his friends' sculptures.
Very cool.
So Kanga and Tigger, Rabbit, Owl, Piglet, Eeyore.
Yeah.
They are all going to be there in the garden.
That's great.
So it's going to be a big celebration next June. And we are really hoping with the fan base and that we will get kind of like back with William Joyce because of his animated, movie, that we'll have a whole fan base interested in coming. So one of the ways we've been trying to think about marketing this year is because we've worked on like getting influencers here, and this year we're trying to hit some of the Winnie fan club market, Facebook groups. And more independent bookstores. We've been reaching out, like Intermission Bookstore in Brownwood. I don't know if you've been there.
No, I haven't been there.
It's incredible, y'all. It is so cool. It's an old movie theater in downtown Brownwood.
Okay.
And that's why I had the name Intermission. And when you walk in, they tell you the history, and they show you an old photo, and then they point, and you can see on the wall the ghost outlines of where the seats used to be, and then these like round kind of like grease spots. And they said that back in the day when the guys had the grease on their heads that they would lean against the wall, and it's from
great.
that. And they've got this incredible book arch they've built, and it's just so cool. It's like a destination place. So connecting with bookstores like that, or like 7 in 1 here in Abilene, and Texas Star, of course, we have a great relationship with them, and then reaching out to other cities, other independent bookstores, and sharing the festival with them, and hoping they can help us maybe with some festival ticket giveaways and flyers, help us get out the word, because it is an event that attracts book lovers.
I think it's great. Well, that's exciting to hear about the Winnie the Pooh expansion, and we'll do our part to help promote and encourage that with
Thank
y'all
you.
as you do that. We're having Nick Nobleek's coming back on next week, so we can talk about his most recent commission and installation piece, the Giving Tree over there in phase 1. So that'll be exciting. So you also work for the City Chamber of Commerce.
Yes, so the Abilene Cultural Affairs Council is a division of the Chamber of Commerce, just like also the Abilene Convention and Visitors Bureau. We're both in the historic TMP train depot on North First across from the Grace Museum, and we're proud to be part of the Chamber family.
Yeah. So what are some things that with your time in this position and the work that you've done that you're extra proud of, and what are some challenges that you faced?
Well, we are proud to kind of be a part of the downtown landscape. The garden, we have multiple gardens now down at the convention center. We have the Adamson Spalding Storybook Garden. We have the Clear Fork Bank Storybook Garden on the other side. I mean, that's kind of changed the landscape
Yes.
of how things look. we're also behind the street signage. People may have noticed that says Storybook Way or Santa Claus Lane.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the limestone benches with the storybook quotes all over downtown. And then, of course, the sculptures themselves, characters from the storybooks.
And the cultural district landmarks, the 4 different.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. So Abilene was one of the first 5 cultural districts when the state started the cultural district program. They had 5 inaugural cities, and we were one of them with like Houston and Dallas.
Nice.
And we like to brag about that because that's pretty incredible, because we're not the top 5 largest city in Texas.
But we've been distinguished as having a vibrant culture.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And I think that's a testament to Lynn Barnett, our leader for the last 40 years here. She has worked hard to make the arts an important part of Abilene and to use the arts to bring visitors here and make it a part of our economy and our culture and tourist attraction. So the storybook themes, that's all a part of that drive to make Abilene unique, stand apart, and a destination for people to want to live here and come here.
Absolutely. Oh, I had another great little question tied up in this. So, the chamber seeks to bring outside bodies and money into our community, whether that's individuals or other companies, right? Like bringing in.
Yes, and also, to strengthen the businesses that are here.
Okay.
Their business members that are here is an important part of what they do.
So might get in the weeds here a little bit with you, but we've got this new Lancium Stargate data center that's getting national news, and just north of here, about 6 miles from where we sit right now. And we could talk about a lot of things regarding that, but what I want to kind of focus on with you is there's now 6,000 transient workers on site.
Yeah.
Most of those are transient. Some are local. And they have absolutely gobbled up every available hotel room, Airbnb, RV site. We're pretty much at capacity. And yet we have some pretty important things coming up on our schedule in Abilene that normally would bring in a lot of outside people and eyes. For instance, we got the Fair and Rodeo coming up in a few weeks.
Yes.
And homecoming for our 3 universities.
Yes.
And and
then in May it'll be all the graduations.
Exactly. So we're just gonna have a whole full year like we normally do of all these events and attractions that bring people in, and there's not any housing. Have you spent any time thinking about this or talking to other members of the community to think about how we could, and not that this is my problem, but it's a problem for our community.
Yeah, we're seeing the prices for hotels go way up. And we've even thought, okay, well, for the festival next June, we want to encourage people, obviously, out of town to come in. Hopefully there'll be places for them to come, or that they'll be able to afford to come. I guess it's a good problem to have because it should really ignite your economy.
It should.
And business, should be booming. And so you would think, construction would be ramping up. But the Lancium is huge, and then the B-21 program at Dias.
Yep.
So we're forecast for the next 5 or so years to have this big boom where Abilene's blowing up. So it'll be interesting to me to see long term. Will that boom? How long will that last? Is this a permanent, or is this just until these project construction is done?
Right.
Are we going to see hotels being constructed, or are they going to wait and because obviously all that it takes years to get something built and approved. And I see. I'm sure there are all kinds of ways it's impacting. For sure. Water.
Energy.
with everything.
Yep. I just had to renew my energy bill, and it's just no fun, you know. Like I'm like, how is this possible? So we are facing real challenges in Abilene that maybe maybe we're all caught up in kind of what we're focused on a day-to-day thing, or raising our kids or our own projects. But when I look at like the history of Abilene before my time, back in the 80s, we were a boom and bust town with oil and gas,
Yes.
and then savings and loan fiasco happened, and apparently that really hurt our community
Yes.
a lot. And I wasn't here for that. So I'm concerned about where we're at with these pretty big projects that are happening and how that's impacting our infrastructure now and moving forward. And then also, I mean, we have a full house. We have a full house in our community right now. So where do we make room for our guests that are coming in for all the various things that we normally have plenty of room for? And you don't have to answer that. You don't have to know the answer to that, Sidney, but I want our audience and maybe other people in the community to be thinking about that also. Because I don't know that the solution is more new construction if in a few years this vagrant workers are going to be out of town onto the next project. I don't know.
Yeah, like you said, it's kind of hard to know with this influx of people. Like, is it permanent, or will these projects bring enough new jobs that it would be a permanent? That we would see a big jump, say the next census. It'll be definitely interesting to see. I was a census enumerator.
Oh, very cool.
For the 2020 census, and that was crazy.
How was that? Tell me about that project.
Well, I love like family history and stuff, and so after looking through census records, I thought for so many years, oh, I'll just go be an enumerator and see what that experience is like. And it takes you all over the county and crazy circumstances and places and people. So it is kind of interesting to see, here we are in 2025, what our census will look like in 2030 with all of these projects, and how widespread and spread out, because some of these are big. The landscape is so big. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how all of this could permanently change the face of Abilene and our county, and probably the whole area, because if there's not enough stuff here, you're just going to see them spread out. Merkel, Holly, Baird, Clyde,
Stanford, Anson, whatever.
Sweetwater.
Yep.
They'll just people will go wherever they can find housing and jobs and stuff, and maybe commute in. Because even on the plane ride this summer, I met a guy. He's going back home to California, but he's an electrician here for 2 years to do the Lancium project. So how many of those people are going to rent? How many of those are going to want to buy a house? If they're going to be here long enough, they might be willing to buy something. So I don't see any sector that will be untouched from what's happening right now.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's definitely a big, impactful situation that we're in the middle of. What other challenges do you see our community facing as we move forward?
Well, I think I know the city's continuing to work on infrastructure, especially with all of this influx of people. Of course, working downtown, that's kind of where, I see from day to day. And I know that's a struggle because people who don't work or live downtown don't always want to see too much invested. But to us, it's kind of like the heart of Abilene. It's like, this is the personality.
Yep.
Like when a visitor comes, they want to see a vibrant downtown with lots of things to do that looks good and is well cared for. So I wish more people understood that there's a very important reason why by sponsors, donors, businesses in the city like invest in downtown because it is kind of like your front door, even though we're not on the interstate.
Yeah.
This is where they come to experience what, quote, Abilene is.
Right.
And so we're seeing some growing pains downtown with this construction on Cypress Street. You know, that was a struggle for the festival, and the cities and the contractors are doing the best they can to accommodate the businesses and get the work done in a timely manner. But of course, there's always hiccups along the way. So we're excited for that to be done and to see the final product. And, you know, they have this new plaza now that they're planning where the newspaper used to be, where I spent 10 years as a newspaper reporter. It's, you know, totally different. Our newspaper used to be, when I started in 99, it has 40 or so employees just in the newsroom. And now, you know, they're just down to a handful, and they're, you know, off-site somewhere. The building itself is gone.
Yep.
It's been scraped off. And, you know, now there's this opportunity to reimagine this space. So I'm glad that the leadership in Abilene has been able to kind of dream up the public parking in the plaza. And we're excited for the opportunities that could bring for the festival and just year-round for people to enjoy downtown. So there's a lot of positive things like that going on.
Yep, lots of growth. And so I've lived here for almost 24 years now, and I came from a little town called Sioux Falls, South Dakota, which is not a little town anymore. And I was there a few weeks ago, and just enjoying their sculpture walk that they do every year, and they've got a Levitt music outdoor venue, just a lot of neat things, and seeing all the growth from my hometown and comparing that to Abilene, I'm wondering if there isn't an opportunity to create like a sister city scenario with the chambers, and maybe do a chamber exchange, send some of our members up there and some of their members down here, just to create more conversations. I mean, we live in flyover country. We're in the middle of the United States. We may not be super culturally significant on the top of everyone's minds, but we're trying, right? We've got a good thing going here. And I wonder if growing more partnerships with communities that we can find a lot of similarities with, you know, we both value children's education, and we both have a conservative kind of bent, and we both value art and culture and live performance. So it would make sense to me, instead of like for Abilene to compare herself to like Dallas or Austin or San Antonio or Houston, which we're just never going to be comparable to those cities. Maybe we could compare ourselves to cities that are more our vibe, more our style. And I just wonder if there's not a wealth of information and sharing and connection and overlap that couldn't be discovered if we were to just reach out and say hi to some other cities outside the state. I don't know, any thoughts about that?
I imagine that the chamber and city leadership I think they do look at similar sized cities when they're often comparing, because I've seen a lot of charts where they'll show like Wichita Falls or Midland, Odessa,
but still
and San Angelo.
Texas cities.
Yeah, probably Texas cities.
Right.
Yeah, I've seen, because I have seen some comparison for different things. I don't know about out of state.
Right. I just wonder. As someone that is a connector and a networker, and wants to see everyone do well. It's kind of what's been on my mind the last few weeks as I've been traveling and talking to other people and chamber members in different cities and stuff. I just think it's interesting to see, because we get stuck in our bubble a lot, and sometimes we might be facing challenges that other communities have solved, and we just need to ask, how did you guys do that? How did that come about for y'all?
Yeah.
And maybe take what we can and see if it works here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, reaching out and doing research and networking and getting ideas, collaborating, that's always a good thing.
So do you think you'll stay in these positions that you're in, these marketing positions? And I mean, do you love what you do with marketing? It's very different than journalism.
It has been different, but one of the things I like that reminded me of working in journalism was I feel like the chamber has their finger on the pulse of the community,
Mm-hmm.
which I felt like the newspaper had to
Mm-hmm.
do too.
Mm-hmm.
And so being a part of the chamber family, I feel like I still get to be a part of things going on, even though I have my niche,
Mm-hmm.
marketing the arts
Mm-hmm.
organizations. I still feel like I'm a part of the big picture of Abilene and the forefront of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I do enjoy my job a lot, and the people I work with, and I love our art organizations. And we have a couple of dozen nonprofit art organizations that we work with quite a bit, and we include the universities in that with all of their music, art
Mm-hmm.
exhibitions, theater.
Mm-hmm.
They're part of all of that as well, not just downtown. And yeah, I just think Abilene's a special community, and all of the relationships and all of the great programming going on it continues to amaze me. I
Mm.
mean, even we just got like a record number of grant requests
Oh, great.
this year, and reading all of the plans that people have, like the 12th Armored Division Museum, they're working on remodeling, redoing their Holocaust exhibition after 20 years, and they're going to integrate and for the grand opening have a theatrical one-person show inspired by Corrie ten Boom.
Hmm.
The Dutch watchmaker and
Okay.
writer who helped Jews escape during the Holocaust when she was in the Netherlands. So just hearing about well, that's a really awesome program. I'm so glad we're going to be doing that in Abilene. That keeps me motivated and enthused.
I like that.
Yes.
Do you have any personal or pet projects that you would like to bring, you know, that you would like to see accomplished while you're still in this tenure?
I still think it would be great to have something more permanent along I-20 that draws attention to the whole storybook theme. There's been some like billboards and things, but I keep thinking there might be something that could draw more attention to that.
I've been inspired. I shared this with a couple people, Clint Rosenbaum being one of them, but I think it would be interesting to do a sculptural arch somewhere, even if it's not a completed arch. And, I don't know if that's possible to do over I-20 or over the railroad tracks or anything like that, but like a place marker that says welcome, welcome to the storybook capital of America.
Yeah.
Sort of, I don't know where that goes or exactly what that looks like, but maybe something like that, like an entry. I know we have our buffaloes kind of marking.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe
Same, I
jazz
thought
it up.
about that.
Yeah, just like jazz it up more and more.
Yes.
Yeah.
Part of our limitations is we have the cultural district. We talked about the pillars. That is a designated place as part of our cultural district designated. Like there's parameters on where the cultural district is located.
Okay.
And so thankfully, we've been able to get cultural district grants every year, but they are projects that stay in that geographical area. So the idea of doing something on I-20 or other entryways
might put it outside the scope of.
That
or
particular
would make funding
grant
a little bit more
program.
difficult because it's outside of that.
Not that I guess that it couldn't be raised privately, but
Yeah.
that is why our a lot of our things happen downtown is because of that cultural district grant program, which is really great, and we're glad that the state has it. And
Well, and other municipalities in Texas talk about what we've done here in Abilene and Lynn and you all have done, because we were in, was it Mansfield, Sam, this summer, picking up the truss. So I think that's like a suburb of DFW area, and we were talking to one of the gals that works for the chamber there, or the city there, in charge of performing arts and stuff like this. And when she heard that we were from Abilene, she said, "Oh, you guys have tons of available money because of what Lynn's done setting up our the Cultural Affairs Council, and the way that we can take grant money and move it through different organizations to make more things happen here." Apparently, Abilene's kind of special like that compared to other Texas towns. There's more available to us.
Well, and not all cultural councils in Texas are benefiting from their city's hotel motel tax either. So it's nice because that allows us, to pay the staff and then raise money on top of that to do special programming or the storybook themed things. So I think there's probably a lot of arts councils that are just struggling to probably raise the money just to stay open. And so I think having a portion of that hotel motel tax really puts Abilene a leg up and has allowed us to accomplish a lot more as well.
Well, I think it's great that we are at least perceived as being cultural leaders in the state. Right? I mean, the state sees us that way also. So
yes,
I hope that our listening audience can recognize that we should have a sense of pride in our community, and we can take this seriously and have a lot of fun with it too. That we are thought and cultural leaders, and we're all the way out here in the middle of West Texas nowhere.
That's right. I mean, when people come into town, we've hosted journalists, and they see that. Our sculptures, the contemporary ones too, along the railroad tracks, that, that Cultural Affairs Council, that's part of our program as well. Every other year we do the outdoor sculpture. It is the longest running outdoor sculpture exhibition of its kind in Texas, by the way.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's been going on for several decades. And so some of the funky sculptures kind of, people crack up and they're like, why is this here? Why is this pink? Why is there a pink flamingo downtown with sunglasses?
Yep.
I had a journalist say to me, that's weird. Why is that here? And she kind of laughed, and I was like, well, contemporary art can be interpreted in many ways, and you don't have to come here to just see a buffalo.
Right.
We're gonna expand your mind and open it up to lots of things.
Yeah, that's good. Well, Abilene's come a long way, continues to grow, thanks to you and people like you that are working hard to let people know about all this great stuff. Well, as we wrap up a little bit today, are there anything else that you want to share with our audience? Anything you want to get off your chest? Any stories?
Well, I just encourage people to maybe come to our website. It's just AbileneCAC.org, and you can sign up for our monthly e-newsletter there. Check out the calendar of events. There is a lot going on. Abilene is not boring.
No.
There's always concerts. We have incredible Broadway shows. Book of Mormon is coming here.
Oh, it's a fun show.
So there's just all kinds of things going on. And so I just encourage your audience to check out the calendar and participate. That's what the arts needs. Don't be passive. Come participate.
Come see a live theater. Come see a concert. Come walk and see the sculpture gardens. They're free and they're available 24/7.
Yeah. There's incredible art shows that come in to the Center for Contemporary Arts and the Grace Museum. Pretty cool stuff.
Lots of good stuff. Well, Sidney, thank you for coming on the channel today and sharing yourself with us, and for being an awesome person and helping Abilene to continue to be great.
Well, thank you for having me. Thanks for your show.
Yeah, it's been really good. Well, we'll touch base again in the future, and maybe come by and bug you and Lynn about some ideas.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, thanks again for being on the show today. Friends, if you ever want to come down and watch these, we do them live Thursday mornings about 10:30. There's wonderful coffee next door at Majestic Coffee serving Onyx. And we just appreciate your attention, appreciate you listening to our little conversation today. Please like and subscribe, share. We do need some more subscribers, so if you don't mind, we would really appreciate that. And like I said, I'll have Nick Noblique on next week. We're going to discuss his new Giving Tree installation at the Clear Fork Storybook Garden.
Yes.
And I think that's about it. It's a beautiful day. Get outside, walk your cat, and we'll see you next week. Thanks, Sam, for being the producer extraordinaire. Signing off from the Travi Wavi.